Imagine a science class. You are 10 years old. The teacher is pointing to a colorful chart of the tongue. This is the tongue map. It shows different areas for tasting sweet, sour, salty, and bitter. You might even get to use little swabs dipped in different solutions. This was many people's first introduction to the sense of taste. The tongue map suggests that different parts of the tongue are responsible for tasting specific tastes. The tip of the tongue loves sweet, the sides detect sour, the back tastes bitter. Many of us grew up believing this, but there's a problem. The tongue map is wrong. It's a myth that has persisted for over a century. The story of the tongue map begins in Germany in 1901. David Pauli Hänig, a German scientist, conducted research on taste perception. Hänig used weak solutions of sweet, sour, salty, and bitter substances. He asked people to describe where they tasted these flavors on their tongues. Hänig noticed slight variations in sensitivity across the tongue. Some areas were a bit more sensitive to certain tastes, but these differences were very small. Hänig never intended to create a definitive map of taste zones. His research was much more nuanced than that. In 1942, Edwin G. Boring, an American psychologist, translated Hänig's work. Boring's translation included a diagram. This diagram exaggerated the slight variations in Hänig's findings. It essentially created distinct zones for each taste. Boring's interpretation, not Hänig's original research, formed the basis of the tongue map. The truth is that all areas of the tongue can taste all 5 basic tastes: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami, or savory. Taste buds, the tiny sensory organs on our tongues, are responsible for this. Each taste bud contains receptor cells for all these tastes. While there might be slight variations in sensitivity, these are not significant enough to create distinct taste zones. We now know that taste perception is much more complex. It involves not just the tongue, but also the nose, the brain, and our overall sensory experience.